गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We were seeing last week the lure, the temptation that Lord of Death Yamraj is giving to Nachiket. And why is he doing that? He is doing that to check out his qualification for what? Whether he is qualified to listen to the answer for the question that he has posed to Lord Death. What was the question? Is there life after death? Does consciousness continue after death? Some say it does, some say it does not. In simple words, is there life after death? What happens to consciousness after death? What happens to the soul? Whichever way you put it. And for that, all this rigmarole is going on from the side of Lord of Death. And in the 25th verse, he said, "Ye ye kama durlabha martyaloke sarvan kamaschandata prarthayasva ima rama saradha saturya nahi trisha lambhaniya manushyaih आभिर्मत् प्रत्ताभि परिचारयस्व नचिकेतो मरणं मानुप्राक्षीः." There he said that whatever delights there may be visible or invisible, conceivable or inconceivable, and you, O Nachiket, you can ask for them without any hesitation, without any restraint. And there are chariots, there are these apsaras, celestial maidens, and along with musical instruments and their retinue, and they come with their own palaces, gold, dasis, chariots, etc. And why are they there? They are only there to serve you. Their only purpose is to keep you happy, and normal people have never seen them, meaning Martyaloke, the people from the mortal world have never had access to them, they have never seen them, and they cannot be what do you call, they can only imagine them, but they cannot even be won by mortal men. They are for special. That is at his if on his command they will go to Nachiket, and he says, be happy with these and do not ask about what happens after death. I request you, I pray, in this manner. Our uh, Lord of Death, again in the stream, in the previous 23rd, 24th verse also, he offered him. Now in the 25th also he offers him more. And in the 26th verse, Shobhava martyasya yadanta kaitata sarvendriyanam jarayanti te yaha abhisarvam jeevitam alpameva tavaiva bahastava nritya gite. These celestial maidens, these divine maidens, Nachiketa is saying, Shobhava Martasya Yadantaikata, O Lord of Death, I understand that you want to offer me all these wonderful, divine, ephemeral, but he adds one word. What is that? Martya, the ephemeral, they come and they go, they are not permanent. And I understand your intentions, O Lord, but all these pleasures that you are offering me as a whole package, nowadays you get NBN package, no? You get phone packages, 40 GB, 50 GB, this is unlimited GB. For as long as he wants and as long as much as he wants. Wow! But Nachiketa's conclusion is, but all these pleasures that you are offering me are ephemeral. Ephemeral means they which is existing, which is in its own absence. They are mithya. They are temporary. They are finite. And all these pleasures, if one is exposed to, they wear out your senses. They suck your energy away. They spoil your mind, and one eventually becomes feeble, and if he keeps enjoying these pleasures, eventually he becomes feeble and old after their enjoyment. So what's the point of going after all these? So what will I do? You are offering me, you can live as long as you want and desire whatever you want. That is still a limited lifespan when compared to eternity. When compared to liberation, that is still a limit. Long life, as long as I want, is still finite. This young boy has come to that conclusion. And we all who is speaking and listening, we come to this conclusion when we hear it, and after hearing it, very conveniently we forget it. That is our lot. See, because nobody denies that we have a finite lifespan, but they don't want to keep that in the front of their mind, which will make them prepare to prepare for salvation, prepare for permanent bliss. They will not do that. And why these all enjoyments are api sarvam jivitam alpameva. Alpame is finite, they are limited, they have a beginning, and therefore they will end one day, and therefore I do not want them. Till here we saw last week, and now we go into the 27th verse. Here Nachiketa is continuing his response to the Lord Death. And see, it is true when we say what Nachiketa is saying, that it is ephemeral. Tell me, from childhood today till today, what is it that you have held on continuously? Is there anything in this world? Is there anything in your experience? Is there anything in your conviction, emotion, whether it be good qualities or whether it be bad? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, matsara, they also come and go. You cannot stay with it permanently. Whether it is good qualities, daya, dhan, tapasya, sadhana, studying scriptures, nothing we can do permanently, continuously. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. See? Mind loves variety. Understand this. It requires a humongous effort to take the mind away from the variety and make it focused on the one. Because mind is seeking bliss, but because of lack of complete knowledge, it is seeking bliss through the variety. And when from one or two things it enjoys a little bit, you eat one gulab jamun, nice. Then eat one barfi, nice. Buy a new cloth, shirt, nice. It gives me happiness. Go for a trip, it gives me joy. Get a promotion, it gives me joy. So, all these gave me joy. So it seeks more and more variety to get more and more joy. But all these joys are finite. They begin and they conclude. And they are dependent on some object, some experience, some emotion, some time, some space, some place. Whole process of spirituality is not realization. Whole process of spirituality is reprogramming this mind to come to realize that only when it seeks the joy, seeks the happiness from its own source, not from the outside, but from its own cause, from its own source. And that source is inherent within the mind. It is pervading the mind. But until and unless the mind does not become introverted, till then it is a hard slog, because you are going against its grain. Mind, so you have to catch it. You have to catch it. Whenever it is naturally getting introverted, you catch it naturally, whether it is going to sleep or waking up in the mornings. There are many times during the day when it is not interested in the world. Catch this principle that there is nothing in this creation that the mind can ever get absolutely happy about other than the self, other than its own source. That is why we are studying scriptures, that is why we are studying Upanishads, Bhagavatam, Ramayana, etc., etc., to impress this on our mind. Remaining involved in the world, mind will never be content. Surrender to its source, it is of the nature of infinite happiness. And thereafter, all desires, either you can say, are no longer there, or you can say that instantaneously all the desires are fulfilled all together in one go. This is the language that is used. And our Nachiket has worked out. This should be our assessment of the world. Are we clear? If Lord Death comes tomorrow, hey, I've been waiting for you. I forgot about you. I was waiting for you to finish this lecture. Now I am here. What will you say? No. I have to still go back to India. I don't want to die in Australia. I want to die on the banks of Ganges. Please come after some time, or let Omicron go and I can take a flight back there. Please wait. Yamaraj doesn't wait for anyone. He says, I waited for you to hear this particular verse that the world is ephemeral, and now you are asking, I want to go to Gangaji and then give up. Then you are ready. So interact with the satsang with awareness, interact with the satsang subjectively, so it becomes our own at this moment. Who is speaking does not matter. What is being spoken, that matters. The Lord has made you available to these words of Nachiket and the dialogue with the Lord Death. Take advantage, orient yourself. Continuing, our Nachiket is continuing to speak to speak to Lord Death. न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो लप्स्यामहे वित्तमद्राक्ष्म चेत्वा लप्स्यामहे वित्तमद्राक्ष्म चेत्वा वित्तमद्राक्ष्म चेत्वा वित्तम द्राक्ष्म चेत्वा जीविष् जीविष्यामो यावदिशिष्यसि त्वं जीविष्यामो यावदिशिष्यसि स्वत्वं वरस्तु मे वरणीयस एव वरस्तु मे वरणीयस एव टुगेदर न वित्तेन तर्पणीयो मनुष्यो लप्स्यामहे वित्तम अद्राक्ष्म चेत्वा जीविष्यामो यावदिशिष्यसि त्वं वरस्तु मे वरणीयस एव. Here he says that Nachiket is continuing his Nachiket is continuing and he says that man cannot be satisfied or contented by the wealth. Na vittena tarpaniyo manushyo. Man cannot be satisfied, contented by wealth. Now that we have see the reverence of Nachiketna. Huh? He says, now that we have seen you, then we will acquire wealth anyway. What does he mean? When you have when we have come across gods themselves, gods automatically, their presence itself is blessing. Their presence itself is blessing. Presence of nature, is it not blessing? The clouds give you rain, the trees give you fruit, the river gives you water, the earth allow you to trample. You are not paying anything, it is coming in plenty. See, the fire gives you warmth without asking anything in return. So nature is giving you. Imagine if gods are present in front of you, will they go away without blessing you with something or the other? And see you can call it diplomacy from the materialistic point of view, but here it is conviction and reverence put together. Nachiketa says, now that we have had your vision, wealth is automatically attained. Why should I waste my boon on asking for wealth? You see? Why should I waste my time? Why should I waste my boon in asking for the list that you have presented me? Because all that is gained without asking, because I am in your presence. This is the second time Nachiket is showing his developed intellect at that young age. Remember the first time? First time was when he asked the first boon. That he asked the boon for the happiness of his father, and he said, let my father be happy, and how will he be happy? By seeing me and remembering me just as when I left him, when you send me back to him. First stroke of genius. Second stroke of genius, here. All the wealth unasked. Why? You are the lord of all the wealth. Dharmaraj, Yamraj. So now that I have your vision, that is automatic. Why should I ask for those things? You will give it to me anyway. But I'm not interested in them. His focus is not on wealth. He is not saying that because he wants it. He is saying that to remind the Lord and show that he understands whom he is in front of. See? And he doesn't want to miss the opportunity to know what happens after death. And he showed before in one of the verses where he said that who else better than you who can tell what happens after death, because you are the Lord of death. These type of dialogues don't go through our mind except when we study Upanishads. You are an 8-year-old, yes, he is in front of the death. See? So he says, O Lord, here he says, Jivishyamo yavadi shishyasi tvam varastu me varnyasa eva. He says, we are all going to live as long as you live. Did you understand? That we are going to live as long as you live. Because gods also have a tenure. As long as the creation is going to go on, how long is the creation? 14 Manvantaras is 1 day of Brahma. Is 1 day of Brahma. Then 14 Manvantaras is 1 night of Brahma. When the night comes, everything that had manifested in these 14 Manvantaras becomes unmanifest. And then after that again Brahmaji wakes up and again the whole thing begins. From the beginning of creation. And what is 1 Manvantara equal to? 1 Manvantara is equal to 74 cycles of Chatur Yuga. Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yug. 74 cycles. See? So 1 Manvantara is equal to 74 cycles of Chaturyug. Like that, 14 times. When it goes through, that is 1 day of Brahmaji. And Lord of Death, he is not independent from Brahmaji. It is that one Ishvara who became Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. It is that one Ishvara alone who became all the gods, the demigods. So, when Brahmaji goes into sleep, becomes unmanifest, Lord of Death has got no job to fulfill. He will also go into unmanifestation. So, Nachiket is saying, our life is as long as your life is. As long as you are ruling, till then. Another way of putting it, as long as you are ruling, till then we will be living. Living means being born, dying, again being born, again dying, again being born, again dying. How long will this go on? As long as the Lord of Death is there. When he becomes unmanifest, along with Brahmaji, then we also become unmanifest. Then we have got no purpose here. Our shunting also will stop. But he says, Varastu me varaniya eva. But the boon that we have asked, requested from that we have requested is same, meaning it remains the same. We do not want to change the boon. What happens after death? We don't want to change that question. Boon. I want to know. I am not distracted by all this. The Bhashya continues. Na prabhute na vitte na tarpaniyah manushyaha. Man cannot be satisfied or contented with abundant wealth. The more wealth you have, the more security guards you have, or what do you call, security cameras you have, more fierce dogs you have in your garden. Why? Too much wealth hidden in the walls, in the safe. So this is the principle. Now, if you say, "Oh no, this is not true," you work it out. We don't want to spend too much time on that. You work it out. All that is, read Bhagavad Gita. This is Upanishad. All this is, it should click now. That no, look around. If that is too hard to read Bhagavad Gita, look around yourself. How many people are running after money, running after wealth, running after cars, running after houses, running after memories, and how many of them are happy because of that? Not one. नहि लोके वित्तलाभः कस्यचित् तृप्तिकरः दृष्टः यदि नाम अस्माकं वित्त तृष्णा स्यात् लप्स्यामहे प्राप्स्यामः इति एतद् दित्तम् अद्राक्ष्मः दृष्टवन्तः वयं चेत् त्वाम्. Then he says, not because in this world gaining wealth or gain of wealth has been seen. We look around everywhere, people are doing it, but none of that is seen. But it does not bring contentment or happiness. It does not bring permanent contentment and happiness. And contentment, happiness to whom? To the mind. Mind is ever desiring more and more and more and more. A poor man who goes to work by walking, by getting up at 4 o'clock, his happiness is, when I saved enough money to buy a cycle so I can cover that distance in less time. For that he is working hard and toiling hard. Once he gets a cycle, then he says, "Oh, if I get a scooter, my travel time will be even less." Then he toils harder, finds different ways, and eventually gets a scooter. When he gets a scooter, then he wants a car, so that he's not at the mercy of the nature. When he gets a car, then he works hard. No, I think it should be Mercedes, it should be electric vehicle. I don't want to spread pollution. It should have air conditioning. Then that is also not enough. Now he wants to sweat and twiddle his thumbs inside the car, and the car should drive itself without him doing anything. Where's the end? Where's the end? Then once the car is got, then he wants a helicopter, then he wants a plane, then he wants to go to space, he wants to experience weightlessness and come back. Then he wants to go to moon, then he wants to go to Mars. Now one probe has gone to sun also. Where does this end? It does not end. Mind is never satisfied with wealth. It will only create greed for a mind. And he says, "Oh Lord, now that we have seen you, if we have excuse me. Now that we have seen you, meaning, so if we have any desire left within our bosom, now that we have seen you, it will get fulfilled automatically. Because you are who you are. You have the capacity. जीवितम अपि तथा एव. Also, this way we will gain a long life. जीवितम अपि तथा एव. जीविष्यामः यावत् याम्ये पदे त्वम् ईशिष्यसि शिष्यसे प्रभुः स्याः कथं हि मर्त्यः त्वया समेत्य अल्प अल्पधन धन आयुः भवेत्. O Lord, as long as you are living, you are the ruler of the life and death, or life or of the or you are the ruler of the title of death. It has been bestowed upon you, and it is your duty, your job, your disposition to to be with the title of death. So how can a earthly person, how can a person who is mortal means who has a limited lifespan, how can a human being, a mortal being, having uh, uh, come near you, having seen you, having come face to face with you, be without wealth and short life? If, in other words, I am in front of you, it means you will fulfill all the wishes, all the desires, I cannot remain after a Daivik vision, I cannot remain poor. And moreover, you are not only Daivik, you are the Lord of Death, and I am a mortal. I am standing in front of you, in front of the Lord of Death. How can I have a short life? See how smart he is? Smart at the same time. He is telling truthfully. He is not wishing for a long life. He says it goes without asking. It goes without asking. How can I be in front of light and there be darkness? It is not possible only. See? That way, that I am in front of you, we are standing in front of you, we are mortal. How can we be without wealth and short life? It is just unheard of. It is not possible. Saying this, Varahatu me varaniya sa eva yat atma vigyanam, but the boon requested by me, Varahatu me varaniya, but the boon requested by me, that knowledge of self alone I long for. What is this consciousness which people say exists or doesn't exist after death? Call it soul, call it self. In this manner, our Nachiket, he has put his argument or his answer in front of our Lord of Death. So now, yatascha, because he is continuing. What is it? Ajiryatam, sorry, it's a tune, na? Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya, Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya, Jiryan martya kwadastha prajanan, Jiryan martya kwadastha prajanan, Abhidhyayan varnarati pramodar, Abhidhyayan varnarati pramodar, Ati dirghe jivite korameta, Ati dirghe jivite korameta. Together. Ajiryatam amrutanam upetya, Jiryan martya kwadastha prajanan, Abhidhyayan varnarati pramodan, Adidirghe jivite korameta. He says in the ajiryatam amrutanam upetya, uh, having reached where, having reached those gods. And what is the quality of going to heaven? What is the proper, what happens when we reach the heavens, or when we are in the presence of gods? Think some things, there are some, we'll tell you now what happens. Here it says ajiryatam amrutanam upetya. One does not get disease, decay and death. One does not get disease, decay and death. What other thing? There is no hunger and thirst when you are in the heavens. And you do not get disease, decay and death when you are in heavens. Who are in heavens? Godly, divine beings. Who is Lord Death? A divine being. He is also sitting in the heaven. So Nachiketa is continuing his deliberations. He is reminding the death. Not that he needs reminder. He's putting his argument forward so that his question about what is the self is answered. Having reached those gods where one does not get old, one who is living on this mortal earth is the earthly plane is where birth and death is the norm. Birth and death is the norm. So that is called mortality. Immortality, mortality. Mortality, finite life. Immortality, infinite life. In relative sense. So, one who is living on this mortal earth, which discriminative person, if a person is having viveka means the ability to discriminate, and the ability to discriminate between real and unreal, changeless and changing, permanent and impermanent. So he is saying, one who is living on this mortal plane, on this earthly plane, and if that person has little bit of discrimination, which discriminative person will ask for anything that is body oriented things? The Apsaras, the celestial maidens, were body oriented. Chariot for the body, palaces for the body, long life for the body, wealth for owning more land, for rulership, lordship. Desires are for the body and mind. Here when he says body, it is body, mind, intellect, gross, subtle and causal. He says it is for the body only. So, but a person who has little bit of discrimination, who is alert about the real and the unreal, will such a person ask for anything which is body oriented, body oriented things and objects which are impermanent, and be happy? He can never be happy. I don't want those things which you have offered me, because it will not give me happiness. Ati dirghe jivite ko rameta. Can one with all these things revel in happiness for a long period of time? It is not possible. You may want to give, but my discriminative intellect tells me that all these things, including not just the wealth, you have also given me long life as long as I want to live, and all desires that I want to fulfill. Desires can be fulfilled only at a body level. See, gross body, subtle body. causal body. Nachiketa has shown his discriminative intellect by making this statement. He himself is saying, who on this mortal plane, who has a discriminative intellect, will ask for boon, for things and experiences for the sake of the body? I don't. And how long will he continue reveling in it? Eventually death will come. It's a wake up call for us. It's a wake up call for us. Let's stop living a life of attachment with relations and possessions. Possessions are things, relations are beings. In possessions come the wealth, experiences, this, that. And in beings, we are not attached with the spirit in the beings whom we are related to. We are attached to the bloody body, which is Nashwar, which is going to die one day. And it can die any time. But we live with the hope, the expectation, and we invest so much in it that when it is taken away untimely, we cry. If it is taken in time also, in the correct time, having lived a good life, still we have lived that long in attachment, so it still pains us. See? When this is the norm, when we are living at the with attachment to relations and possessions, it shows that even after hearing the satsangs, the mind does not give up its old habit. It requires humongous effort. It requires strict discipline. It requires ruthlessness in our attention to discard that is useless and hold on to that will bring us to the immortality. See? Ajiryatam, we read the what do you call Bhashya by Adi Shankaracharya. Ajiryatam vayohanim aprapnuvatam amrutanam sakasham upetya upagamya atmana utkrishtam prayojana antaram praptavyam tebhyah prajanan upalabhamanah स्वयं तु जीर्यन् मर्त्यो जरामरणवान् कदः स्थः कुहु पृथिवी अधः च अंतरिक्षादि लोक अपेक्षया तस्यां तिष्ठति इति कदः स्थः सन् कथम एवं विवेकिभिः प्रार्थनीयं पुत्रवित्त हिरण्यादि अस्थिरं वृणीते. He says, that having reached near the immortals, this is relative we are talking about. This dialogue is taking place between a mortal person and an immortal person. Immortal person, even though we said that Brahmaji will eventually conclude, but in Brahmaji's one day, 74 cycles time, 74 cycles of Chatur Yugas times 14. So in Kali Yuga, how many times we will be born? Imagine how many times. So From mortal point of view, God's life is immortal, relative immortality. We are not talking about liberation. Liberation only human being can have. Gods cannot have liberation. If they want liberation, they have to take human birth. And if you are finding yourself to be a human right now, you are one step ahead of the gods in that sense, because that window of opportunity is exactly what Nachiketa has asked for. He doesn't want, by getting remember, the god gave him the name Nachiketa Agni, he gave him the Pushpamala, which is the whole Prakriti is at his command. Then he has already offered long life, fulfillment of all desires, all the wealth, all the apsaras. He's become another god, so to speak. Once he accepts it, if he accepts it, he is also stuck. Then he will be blessing all other mortals also. Tathastu, tathastu, tathastu. But Nachiketa is not interested in all this. He wants to realize. He wants to know the truth. He wants to know the self. Having reached near immortality, meaning who do not get old. This is in relative sense, immortality. Who do not get old, nor affected by age, having gained from them the best qualification, and knows what can be gained from them, but who himself is to become old and dead, that is old and dying. Such is a Kvadhaha Sthaha. Kvadhaha Sthaha is a person who recognizes that he is mortal, that he is going to turn old, that he is going to one day die. Ku means earth, and desiring the intermediate lower worlds between earth and heaven is called Adaha. One thus established is called Kvadaha Sthaha. In this way, although one is without discrimination, will they ever ask for sons, wealth, etc., which are impermanent? So we should not ask. What we should not ask? Bhur, Bhua. Bhur is earthly plane, you are already here. Bhua, Swaha, Tapaha, Janaha, Mahaha, Satyam. They are the other 6 lokas. Lower lokas, Sutala, Atala, Sutala, Pitala, or Talatala, Patala, all that is the lower one. Forget that one. We must not seek the higher worlds also. Higher worlds means only going to one heaven, to the next heaven, to the next heaven, to the next heaven. The ultimate heaven, Brahmaji is Satyalok. From Ishvara's point of view, even Satyalok is impermanent. From Brahmaji's point of view, our life is impermanent. Each loka, from heaven's point of view, Bhur Bhuva Swaha, Swaha chale gaye, Swarg. From Swarg, the life on earth is impermanent. So, beware, beware, beware. He says, Kva tadastha iti va pathantaram. Somewhere instead of kvadhastaha, Kva tadastha is used for studies. Asmin pakshe cha akshara yojana. And in this opinion, the world arrangement is such. And what is the arrangement? If they take it in that sense, from studies point of view, teshu putradishu astha asthitihi tatparyena vartanam yasya sah tadastah tatah अधिकतरं पुरुषार्थं दुष्प्रापम् अपि प्रापयिषु क्व तदास्तः भवेत् न कश्चित् तद् असारज्ञः तद अर्थी स्यात् इति अर्थः. He says that in those children uh, is resorting to meaning his, because Nachiket is a child, therefore he is using that word, that meaning that child's intention is for livelihood, not for liberation, then he is tadastha. Therefore, he who is putting even more efforts and seeking to gain more and more joy, more ambrosia, he is qua tadastha. He who understands them to be worthless does not desire of them. So here two things were taken, and the second one is qua tadastha. Shankaracharya is taking that it is for study purpose, to explain to the mind of the seeker that, and here is the child, or we are all children of God anyway. So to that person whose intention, actions don't matter. Speech. What is your intention while you are speaking? Where is your attention and intention? So if your attention is on the wealth, then you will put efforts for that. If your attention is on the immortality or the amrutatvam, then you will ask for that, and those type of questions, that discrimination will express for. So here he is saying that he who understands that the world is temporary, the wealth cannot give permanent happiness, such a person, such a child, will he ask for wealth? He does not desire for them, and therefore I do not desire it. He is giving his argument. The argument which Nachiket is giving, Shankaracharya is expanding on it. Continuing, sarva hi upari eva vibhushati lokah tasmat na putra vittadi lobhaihi pralobhyah advam. Because everyone is merely wishing to be higher and higher. Therefore, I cannot be tempted by greed of sons, wealth, etc. So, see how beautifully this 8-year-old child has assessed the world. What I was talking before, that every person in this world, from cycle to scooter, scooter to motorcycle, motorcycle to car, car to Mercedes, Mercedes to helicopter, helicopter to plane, from one room kholi to two bedroom flat, from two bedroom flat to land and house package, from land and house package to a mansion, from a mansion to a palace, from palace to lordship over the earth, from lordship over the earth to heavens, from heaven, and where are the heavens? Bhuva, Suha, Tapa, Jana, Maha, Satyam. 6 steps, 6 heavens are there. Where does it end? After reaching the 6th heaven, then you realize, array, this is also, Brahmaji also comes and goes. Array, baapre, I unnecessarily spent all this time putting efforts to come all the way to Satyaloka. Upanishads are providing the mirror to us. Catch it, O man. Don't get lost in this. Don't get caught up in the Joneses. The grass is always greener on the other side of fence. What they don't have, I want. I want one step better than that. This 8-year-old boy has analyzed the world, come to this conclusion Have we, having lived for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, attended so many satsangs, has it clicked to us that it's worthless pursuing relations and possessions? Has it clicked? Nobody is saying don't be with them. But do we have vairagya towards that? Or at the drop of a hat, we are at their mercy? Passionately seeking out the company, lusting after objects. Zara sochiye, think, contemplate on this. It requires only one deep contemplation. Everything will turn around. You will become another Nachiketa. But contemplation, reflection, contemplation is required if it is not already happened. If we see there is a lack, we are not convinced, we are still getting attached, then more work needs to be done. You have to invoke your discrimination. Invoke your discrimination. For that, reflection is required. What is that? Discrimination is what again? Between the real and the unreal. Changing and changeless. Because every man is merely wishing for higher and higher, more children, more grandchildren, more great grandchildren, more wealth, more variety of food, more experiences of the world. Where does it end? Has it given you happiness? A moment of happiness. After that, Than Than Gopal, empty drum, again want more. Fill it up more. No drunkard is ever satisfied. Every day he wants to get drunk again. This is our lot. We are drunk with the world. We are drunk with the possessions. We are drunk with the relations. Intoxicated, infatuated. Wishing will not bring us out of it. We have to apply ourselves. We have to use our mind and apply what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent and what is impermanent, what is changing and what is unchanging. किंच अप्सरः प्रमुखान् वर्णः अतिप्रमोदान् अनवस्थित रूपतया अभिध्यान निरूपयन् यथावत् अतिदीर्घे जीविते कः विवेकी रमेत्. He says that, and who covets now. All this is from everything that the Lord has offered. He is answering again. And who covets? Covets means desires, wants. Whatever you have, I want. Who covets for apsaras? Our Swamiji say, apsaras are government officers who died frustrated. They become apsaras. Apsar बोलते हैं ना, अफसर का अप्सरा हो गया. And who covets for apsaras? Castles, delights, chariots, etc. are impermanent, non-appearing or disappearing by appearance. Their life is very short. See, the adjectives were used. The adjectives were used, apsaras, eh, in front of that supreme person, in front of that self, in front of that discriminative self. Varnaha, caste, caste is a complexion, beauty, it is continuously changing, nothing remains. Apratimodan, rejoice, delight. Anavasthita, impermanent. Rupataya, appearance. Avidhyana, longing, wishing or coveting. Nirupayan, non-appearing. Yathavat, meaning duly, filthy, improperly, properly. Ati dirghe means very short. Jivite, in life, all these are impermanent, is short. Very for short period it exists and it goes away. Kaha means who. Viveki, Viveki is the discriminative person. Ramet, indulge. Will who will, in other words, will a discriminative person revel, Ramet, in these apsaras who are impermanent, ephemeral, changing, temporary? No. And in this manner, our Nachiket has answered, is putting his argument forth in front of Lord of Death, and he says in the 29th verse, he says, 29th ना, 28 हो गया, एक मिनट, 28, हाँ हो रहा है, फर्स्ट चैप्टर ओवर हो रहा है, खत्म कंप्लीट कर देते हैं. हाँ, व्हाट इज, ही सेज, अतः विहाय अनित्यैः कामैः प्रलोभनं यत् मया प्रार्थितं. Therefore, अतः is therefore, प्रार्थितम is request, pleading, requesting. So therefore, maya prarthitam, request by me is, what is my request, and what is the request? What he says, where are we? In other words, अनित्यैः कामैः प्रलोभनम. Please do not attempt to tempt me with anityai, impermanent things. Kamaihi, desires. Pralobhanam is tempt. So please do not tempt me with these impermanent desires and things, like heaven and paradise. Vihaya is heaven and paradise. So don't, even heaven is temporary, heaven is finite, heaven is impermanent. So your attempt is not being heeded by me. Please do not say any more these type of language. How wonderful. This is all before we dive into the next chapter where he will start answering. All this is, if you want to understand the next chapter, part 2 of Kathopanishad, we need to have prepared our mind, our disposition, like Nachiketa has. He says, Yasminnidam vichikitsanti mrityo, Yasminnidam vichikitsanti mrityo, Yat samparaya mahati bruhinastat, Yat samparaya mahati bruhinastat, योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो नान्यं तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते नान्यं तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते टुगेदर यस्मिन्निदं विचिकित्सन्ति मृत्यो यत्साम्परायमहति ब्रूहि नस्तत् योऽयं वरो गूढमनुप्रविष्टो नान्यं तस्मान्नचिकेता वृणीते. O Lord of Death, he is saying, Hey Mrityo, O Lord of Death, in he says, Yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrityo. O Lord, the jiva, the life, the soul, the atma, is it after death or not? What some people say it is or it is not. Talk about that topic. Talk about that topic. Tell us that. Not talk about that topic. Tell us that. That boon which has gone into hiding, other than that, Nachiketa does not ask. In other words, and how do you tell? Yoyam yoyam varo gudham anupravishto. That question, this question of life after death, soul after death, atma after death, which has gone deep into our psyche, deep into our mind, and it is not leaving me now. Apart from this question, Nachiketa does not ask for anything else. With this, he rests his case. The Bhashya says, Yasmin prete idam vichikitsanam vichikitsanti asti na asti iti evam prakaram हे मृत्यो सांबराये परलोक विषये महति महत् प्रयोजनम निमित्ते आत्मनः निर्णय विज्ञानम यत् तद् ब्रूहि कथय न अस्मभ्यम्. He says, this year in which there is doubt whether it is or it is not, as people say, in this manner, O Lord Death, the reason of its greatness, because the gods also did not come to know. I am adding this is not it. The reason for it, of its greatness and reason of its purpose in relation to the other worlds, that Atma please tell me completely. Nishchayatmak. Here the word he used was Nirnaya, complete ascertainment. निर्णय करके बताइए. Don't beat around the bush. Complete. Give me convincingly, truly. Tell me what this Atma is, which people are confused about, which gods also don't know. Complete ascertainment, conclusion. So that I strive, that I want to know. Tad bruhi kathaya, that tell tell that to tell or describe or relate to us. Asmabhyam, to us. He is talking it in plural. Continuing. एट में जाना है ना हमें. हाँ ये got the wrong page. हाँ, किम बहुना यह अयं प्रकृतः आत्मविषयः वरः गूढ़ं गहनं दुर्विवेचनं प्राप्तः अनुप्रविष्टः तस्मात् करात् अन्यम् अविवेकिभिः प्रार्थनीयम् अनित्य विषयं वरं नचिकेताः न वृणीते मनसा अपि इति श्रुते वचनम् इति. He says that which is the subject of the self, that which is subject, kim, which that which is the subject of the self, which is this boon, which he has asked, what happens to the Atma after the death, forming the subject of discussion, is very secret and deep, and has met with and entered into bad discussion. Other than this boon, Nachiketa does not ask for a boon, not even by though any worldly object requested by people without discrimination. This is said from the scriptures. Adi Shankaracharya is saying Nachiketa is now talking about to himself. Even though Nachiketa is speaking, he is mentioning to him in the third person. He says that I asked you a simple boon, that please tell me, some people say there is life after death, some people say they don't. And you took it into the wrong direction of giving me earth and making me the emperor and giving me the apsaras and giving me fulfilling all my desires and giving me long life and giving me all my desires will be fulfilled. He says it has he is not blaming the Lord. He is saying the subject under discussion in the third boon is, Adi Shankaracharya is saying, the subject under discussion in the third boon is the subject of the self. What happens to the Atma after death? But and the discussion about it is very deep and it is secret. It is a secret. Not everyone is able to come to know, because gods have also not. They are also confused about there is Atma or no Atma. And therefore is very secret and deep, and instead of focusing on this discussion, the discussion has gone into the wrong direction, has entered into a bad discussion, so to speak. And Nachiketa concludes by saying that he does not ask anything for a boon other than the subject of the self, and it cannot be replaced by any worldly object, any worldly experience, any worldly blessings which is concerning this body given by the Lord Death. He is not concerned. He is not ready to replace the topic, the answer, a conclusive answer, a correct assessment of the subject of the self from the Lord of Death and not seeking any bodily enjoyment or desire, and is not ready to replace that third boon with anything else. And this is because all those other boons which are worldly in nature, which are concerned with the body, which are concerned with this mortal body, they are asked only by those people who are lacking in discrimination, those who are not practicing discrimination in their life. Again, discrimination between the permanent and the impermanent. Lack of discrimination, those who are only seeking the impermanent, and through the impermanent they are seeking bliss, fulfillment, conclusion, etc. Those who are discriminative, their attention is on the permanent and they discard the impermanent. Their attention is on the changeless and they discard the changing. For such people, which is Nachiket at this moment, he is not ready to compromise. He is not ready to sacrifice this urge to know the subject of the self by any other distraction. He is not ready because he is discriminating. Worldly people like Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Kamsa, and so many other great Rakshasas are there, or gods are there. Even Yamraj, god of death, he also made the mistake and became Yamaraj. He says, I wish I was like you. I had the discriminative intellect. Because he accepted the position of the Lord of Death, Dharmaraj. And this came in the beginning. First boon only it came. First or second boon. When he is so happy with Nachiket that he names the Vaishwanara Agni by the name Nachiket Agni. So in this manner, understand simple rule, just as when we climb the steps, we take our step from the ground and we lift it up to put on the first step. Where is our attention? Is our attention on the first step or on our destination? Our attention is on the destination. So when your attention is on destination, you are not attached. Oh, what a wonderful step! I love this step. It is so soft. It is so firm. It is able to take my weight. You don't lose all that energy thinking about it. टक 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 करके ऊपर पहुंच जाते हैं क्योंकि हमको because we want to reach up to the destination. Similarly, keep your attention on the higher. You cannot be attached to the world and attached to the reality, to the self. It will not happen. If two people are standing in front of you, in front of a person, man, the mother and wife, if his attention goes to the wife, husband, attention goes to the mother, son, but son will appear only when he is detached from wife. He can't be the husband and the son both at the same time. It is impossible. It is impossible. Same way, to be attached to the world and to be attached to spirituality, it does not happen. You have to detach from. Right now, what is our position? We have detached from reality, so we are attached to the world. Now what we need to do? Detach from the world and get attached to the reality. And this has to be done diligently, regularly, with commitment, with every breath, with every thought, living alertly, with awareness. So in this manner, uh, Nachiketa has clearly shown what his disposition is and where he stands. Next week, before we get into the next chapter, we'll revisit these qualities of Nachiketa uh, for our benefit, not for anyone else's benefit, so that with a refreshed assessment of those qualities, we'll dive into the second chapter. We'll conclude here today and sit quietly for 2-3 minutes. Oh, sorry. What is that after? Is there something conclusion? इति श्रीमद् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य गोविंद भगवत पूज्य पाद शिष्य श्रीमद् आचार्य श्री शंकर भगवतः कृतौ कठोपनिषद भाष्ये प्रथम अध्याये प्रथमवल्ली भाष्यम समाप्तम. With this concludes the Pratamavalli. Prathama Adhyaya means first chapter and first part. So in first chapter there will be two parts, I think. First part and the second part. And first part we have concluded. Srimad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Govind Bhagavat. So Srimad Paramahansa is remembering his Guru Govinda Bhagavat Pad. Who is he? He is a Paramahans. Paramahans who knows how to differentiate between water and milk. For that quality we need to know the real and the unreal. Parivrajaka, who does not stay in one place, is continuously moving. Acharya, Acharya is he who is able to teach the scriptures as well as is an example in practicing those scriptures in his life. Such is an Acharya. And who is he? Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada. My salutations to that Govinda Bhagavat Pad at his feet. And I am his Shishya, Sri Shankara Bhagavataha. And naturally, Govinda Bhagavat Pad is his Pujya Govinda Bhagavat Pad is his teacher, and Shishya Srimad Acharya Sri Shankara Bhagavataha, and his student. Who is his student? Acharya Sri Shankara Bhagavataha. And what has he done? He has written the Bhashya on Kathopanishad. On which part? Prathama Adhyaya, first chapter, Prathamavalli Bhashyam, and first chapter, first part. And thus it comes to a conclusion. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit for some moment.